What up, sports fans? Waxon Wednesday, Jake Waxman, Tyler Lava, let two guys talk sports. Let's go. Oh my lord. Oh dear. Okay, there's no other way to put it. Copa America 2024, probably the most embarrassing chapter in the history of USA soccer. I'm sorry, but that's just the cold hearted truth about it. Whether you're a fan of USA soccer or not, it was hard to watch Team USA play against Uruguay, knowing full well they had to win or at least tie to get in the knockout rounds. Now, first of all, I'm going to start by saying this, okay? Did I expect the U.S. men's soccer team to win it all in Copa America this year? No, definitely was not expect. I did not expect that. Did I expect them to make the knockout rounds? Yes, I expected that. And they couldn't even do that. They couldn't. You've got Copa America on your home soil, and you don't even make the knockout rounds. Especially with the group they were given. Okay, it wasn't the easiest group. I mean, Uruguay, great team. But the other two teams. Okay, so the U.S., they beat Bolivia in their first game. It was close, but they beat them. But honestly, it was that second loss against Panama that pretty much did Team USA in. That was it. As soon as they lost to Panama, it was over. Because it was either win or bust against Uruguay. And, I mean, we could say, okay, you could say all you want about the officiating in that game. That head official in the Uruguay game, awful. Probably one of the worst refs I've ever seen it across any sport for that matter. But you know what? The U.S. should not have been in that position. Had they taken care of business against Panama, they'd be in the knockout rounds easily, no matter the result of the outcome of the USA-Uruguay game. But such is life. And instead of being this was an opportunity. This Copa America tournament was an opportunity for the U.S. men's soccer team to take a step forward. Instead, they took two steps back, pretty much. So now, where does Team USA go from here after an embarrassing showing in Copa America? Well, you got the World Cup in 2 years, which is going to be in North America, in the nations of USA, Mexico, and Canada. So, you just got to regroup from this, all right? Take the lessons you've learned from this Copa America. Learn the lessons from this Copa America. Take all the takeaways that you can get, and apply it towards the FIFA World Cup in 2026, which is going to be on your home soil. So that's an opportunity for the U.S. to bounce back after not only an embarrassing but disappointing showing, to say the least, in Copa America on U.S. soil. So that's pretty much, you know what, and there's a lot of things that got to change. You got to evaluate, roster evaluations are coming. Obviously, sadly, you know what, they need to fire their head coach and get somebody who actually who has experience around the world, if possible. I would get somebody who has as much experience working around the world as possible to build a style that'll help the U.S. go further than it's ever been. And work ethic, all that stuff has got to change. Like, sure, that USA team, they work hard, they never gave up, they played hard till the end, but plenty that needs to change with Team USA. And it all starts at the top, all right? Got to hold the head coach responsible, and he's got to go, unfortunately. So, that was really hard to watch. You know, I wanted to see this U.S. team do well, but once again, in terms of men's soccer right now, the U.S. is right now, in terms of men's soccer, the joke of the world. And the only way that changes is they have got to have a deeper run in the FIFA World Cup in 2026 in America. Whether it's in America or Canada or Mexico, North America as a whole. U.S. has got, okay, they've already got a spot in that FIFA World Cup tournament, but now you got to make a lot of changes within the next 2 years. Because 2 years goes by really fast. So this U.S. team, they got to have a strong showing in the FIFA World Cup. And you know what? Pressure's on. Pressure is on, and the clock is ticking. Just my thoughts on Team USA's embarrassing and disappointing showing in Copa America 2024. All right, so yesterday, thanks to my friend Tyler Lavalette, I got some really, really shocking news that I was not expecting. Of course, I try to follow IndyCar as close as possible, but even this blew me away. So get this: Alexander Rossi will not return to Arrow McLaren in 2025. So after the season is over, he will be moving on. His time at Arrow McLaren will be just 2 seasons. Which, wow. I thought it was a 3-year contract, but it looks like I was wrong. I'll admit I was wrong there. And admittedly, at first, I was pretty darn upset, okay? I thought, okay, something went wrong. Arrow McLaren, they were looking at other younger, talented drivers with potentially higher ceilings, which, okay, admittedly, if you're a race team, you want to get drivers with the best ceilings and that stuff. And I thought to myself, well, wait a minute, Rossi's turning things around. He just got a podium last week. His results are getting better as the season has been going along. He's 7th in the points. Yet Arrow McLaren apparently thinks he's the problem. And now they're shuffling drivers once again. So that's what I thought at first. At first, I thought to myself, oh my goodness, Arrow McLaren's dumping Rossi. I admit that is what I thought. But I took a deeper look, and it turns out both sides talked it out. Both sides acted reasonable, and both sides just couldn't come to a deal. From what I understand, I think Rossi wanted to be paid. He wanted to get paid the amount that a driver of his caliber is deserving of. And Arrow McLaren was not willing to match those terms, and so both sides mutually agreed to part ways after the season. So contract talks off the table. So just like that, after this season, Alexander Rossi's time as a driver at Arrow McLaren will come to an end. So we have no idea where Alexander Rossi is going to go. So I've heard rumors about Prima, which is a new team coming into IndyCar next year. He could be a favorite to land there. Rahal Lanigan Letterman Racing, maybe even Ed Carpenter Racing, just to name a few teams, or Meyer Shank. So, it's hard to say where he's going to end up. It is also quite possible that Alexander Rossi could be out of IndyCar for good after this season. You just never know. I doubt that's going to happen, but, stranger things have happened. So, we don't know where Rossi's going to end up, but what I can tell you is I know who is taking Alexander Rossi's spot. Christian Lundgaard. He will drive the number 7 car in 2025 for Arrow McLaren, and you know what? Good for him, and congrats to him. I like Christian Lundgaard. I think he has a lot of potential. He's got a very high ceiling. I can understand why Arrow McLaren wanted to go and grab him, because he's got all the potential there, and this is a driver that continues to improve year in, year out, and he deserves a shot with a competitive organization like Arrow McLaren and a team with the best tools and equipment and technical support. So I think Christian Lundgaard is going to do very well at Arrow McLaren. I can't wait to see what he does there. I hate it that he's replacing Rossi, but he does deserve to have a shot with a team like Arrow McLaren. So absolutely happy with Christian Lundgaard. Just disappointed for Alexander Rossi. I thought he was going to be at least at Arrow McLaren for one more season, but that is not going to be the case. And sadly, this is it for Alexander Rossi in terms of being competitive in IndyCar. Because the next ride, he's probably, wherever he ends up next in IndyCar, very likely it's not going to be a team that's contending for wins on a regular basis. I don't see him ending up at Penske or Ganassi, barring anything crazy. And I certainly don't see him ending up back at Andretti. So I think he's going to... This is it. I think, sadly, it pains me to say this, but I think Alexander Rossi has hit the peak of his IndyCar career in terms of being competitive. And so wherever he ends up, he's just going to probably end up finishing the last few years of his career doing the best he can. And getting good, I think wherever he ends up, he'll be the top driver, whoever he ends up. There's no question about that. But how far can he carry an organization? I just don't know. And I think, on one final note, the thing I think back to, it's a big what if. What if Alexander Rossi had signed with Team Penske after the 2019 season? What if he had... Because supposedly, and from what I understand, Team Penske offered Alexander Rossi a contract, or offered him somewhat of a deal, in 2019 to drive for the captain starting in 2020. Of course, Alexander Rossi turned down that deal and remained at Andretti, and his career has not been the same since. So, you know what? What if? Woulda, coulda, shoulda. But you know what? Alexander Rossi, if he was offered that deal with Penske like I thought he was back in 2019, he should have taken it at the time. Because had he taken it, he would not be where he is right now. He would probably be still racing at Penske and maybe still winning some races too. So, just what if? I just know that if he had taken that deal at Penske, he would have been in a much better position right now than he is in today. So, again, bummed out for Rossi, but all right. I wish Alexander Rossi all the best wherever he goes, and I have a feeling he's going to end up in an IndyCar ride, but if this is it for him in IndyCar, this is absolutely fun watching him drive. We know he's got the talent, and we know he can still drive even being in his 30s, but we'll see where he ends up in 2025. It's a lot to take. Okay, third and final subject. All right, we got the Olympics coming up later this month from Paris, France. So here's some things running through my mind. There's three things in my mind. First up, Simone Biles. How can she bounce back from a disappointing 2020 Olympics in Tokyo? Simone Biles has been working all the hard in the world. Okay, sorry, that came off so wrong. Okay, she's been working her ass off, working hard in the gym, in gymnastics. She's been working her butt off, 24/7 for the last 3 years to get back to this point. Can she get redemption in Paris? That's going to be one of the things we're going to be following. And then, second story, Team USA in terms of men's swimming. So we got guys like Caleb Dressel coming back, as well as Katie Ledecky. Those will be leading the way for both sides, for the men's and women's side, in terms of USA swimming. But I wonder if this is a youth movement for Team USA swimming. Is it kind of a rebuild year for USA men's swimming? Or are we going to see some young stars break out and surprise us with some great results, like some gold medals that we don't expect in certain events? One never knows. So is this a youth movement? And speaking of it, my third and final thought going through my head, is this a youth movement for Team USA as a whole across all sports and not just swimming? Is this a youth movement to the point where maybe we don't win as many medals in this Olympics, but really we're just building up for the games of the 34th Olympiad in Los Angeles in 2028. We know the United States is hosting it in LA, of course. So this could be so the Paris Olympics or the games of the 33rd Olympiad could be a setback for Team USA, but it also could be an Olympic Games where we build towards the future, and we're building up towards Los Angeles in 2028, where potentially the Team USA could have its best Olympics ever on home soil. We shall see. These are just a few of my thoughts running through my head going into the games of the 33rd Olympiad in Paris, France. So, all I gotta say is, hey, you could say this is a preview, but to the athletes of Team USA, I wish them all the best, good luck, compete hard, work hard, and represent the United States with passion and fire and great work ethic. So, looking forward to the 33rd Olympiad in Paris. I'm curious to see how Team USA does, and we'll see how many of these questions are answered, or these three thoughts, or three questions in my head. We'll see if they're all answered in these Olympic Games. All right, on to this day in sports history, and on this day, the 3rd of July, 1994, the 1994 FIFA World Cup in the United States. In a huge upset, Romania eliminates Argentina 3-2 from the round of 16 at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, California. All right, sports fans, that is all I got for this week's Waxon Wednesday. Thank you for watching. This is Jake Waxman from Two Guys Talk Sports, signing off.